The conference room was cold and white. Everything looked clean, almost too clean. Jiho Kim sat in a chair that was not made for human bodies. It was hard and shaped wrong, but he tried not to complain. Around him sat creatures from different worlds. Some had scales. Some glowed with soft light. Others looked like they were made of glass or stone. This was the Galactic Council Station. Jiho was the first human ambassador to visit this place. Earth had just made contact with alien life 3 months ago. Everything was new and strange. The Council wanted to meet humans and decide if Earth could join their group of peaceful worlds. Jiho looked around the table. There were 12 different species in the room. A creature made of blue crystal sat directly across from him. Its name was Thessian. It represented the Velkari people. The Velkari were important in the Council. They had been traveling through space for thousands of years. Thessian's body caught the light and made rainbow patterns on the walls. When it spoke, its voice sounded like wind chimes. "We welcome the human representative to our council. We hope this meeting brings understanding between our peoples." Jiho nodded. "Thank you. Earth is honored to be here." The meeting had been going on for 2 hours. They talked about Earth's technology. They talked about human culture and history. The aliens asked many questions. Some questions were easy. Others were hard to answer. How do you explain war to beings who never fought? How do you describe competition to species that always cooperated? Jiho's stomach growled. He had been sitting here since morning. Back on Earth, it was lunchtime. He had packed food in his bag just in case. The alien said the meeting would be long. Thessian seemed to notice. "Are you uncomfortable, Ambassador Jiho?" "I'm fine," Jiho said. "Just a bit hungry." "Hungry?" Thessian's crystal body flickered. "We apologize. We did not offer you nutrition. Please take this." The alien pushed a small white cube across the table. It looked like a sugar cube, but bigger. Jiho picked it up. It had no smell. "What is this?" "Standard nutrition supplement. It contains all necessary energy and minerals. 1 cube sustains a being for 6 hours. Jiho looked at the cube. He had read about this in the briefing files. Most alien species ate these nutrition cubes. They were made in factories from basic elements. No growing, no cooking, no taste. Just pure nutrition. "Thank you," Jiho said politely. "But I brought my own food, if that's okay." "Of course. Please consume what you prefer." Jiho reached into his bag and pulled out a wrapped bundle. He had made it this morning before the shuttle flight to the station. His wife had laughed when she saw what he packed. "You're going to eat that in front of aliens?" she had asked. Jiho had shrugged. "I need real food. Those nutrition cubes taste like cardboard." He unwrapped the bundle. Inside was a burger. Not just any burger. He had made it with care. Fresh bread, lettuce, tomato, and a thick patty of bulgogi beef that he had marinated overnight. The smell filled the air immediately. Rich, savory, delicious. Jiho picked up the burger with both hands. He was hungry. He opened his mouth and took a big bite. The flavors exploded on his tongue. The sweet and salty beef. The crunch of fresh vegetables. The soft bread. Perfect. The room went silent. Jiho looked up, still chewing. Every alien in the room was staring at him. Thessian's crystal body had stopped glowing. A creature that looked like a floating jellyfish had frozen in the air. Another alien with 6 eyes had all of them focused on Jiho's burger. Jiho swallowed. "Is something wrong?" Thessian's voice came out quiet, almost shaking. "Ambassador Jiho, what are you consuming?" "This? It's a burger. A human food, but what is it made from?" Jiho looked at his burger, then back at the aliens. "Bread, vegetables, and meat. Pretty standard meal on Earth. Meat?" Thessian leaned forward. Its crystal surface was flashing now, changing colors rapidly. "Please define this term." "Meat. You know, animal flesh. This one is from a cow. We raise them on farms." The jellyfish creature made a sound like a gasp. The 6-eyed alien backed away from the table. Thessian's entire body turned dark red. "You consume other life forms?" Thessian's voice was barely a whisper. "You kill living creatures and eat their bodies?" Jiho realized the problem. "Oh, you don't do that here. No species in the Galactic Council consumes other living beings. This practice ended millions of years ago in our evolution. It is considered barbaric, primitive, evil." Jiho put down his burger slowly. "I see. Well, humans are omnivores. We eat both plants and animals. It's how we evolved. We need the nutrition from both to survive. Plants are living as well," said the jellyfish creature. Its voice was high and frightened. You consume them too? Yes, vegetables, fruits, grains. We eat lots of plants. Thessian stood up from its chair. This is disturbing news. We were told humans were intelligent, civilized beings, but you are predators. You kill to eat. Well, yes, Jiho said. He tried to stay calm. But so does every animal on Earth. It's natural. The food chain exists everywhere on our planet. Food chain? Another alien spoke up. This one looked like a walking plant with leaves for hair. You have organized systems of consumption? Predator and prey? Yes, that's how ecosystems work on Earth. Animals eat plants. Other animals eat those animals. Humans are at the top of this chain. At the top? Thessian's voice grew louder. You are apex predators? I suppose so, yes, the room erupted. Aliens spoke in their various languages all at once. Some sounded angry. Others sounded scared. Thessian held up one crystal limb for silence. Ambassador Jiho, this changes everything. The Galactic Council is a community of peaceful species. We left behind violence and predation long ago. Most of us evolved to consume only minerals, light energy, or synthesized nutrients. We do not kill. We do not hunt. We do not eat the flesh of other beings. Jiho felt his heart sink. This was bad. Earth needed to join the Galactic Council. They needed the technology and knowledge these aliens could share. But how could he explain that humans were not monsters? I understand this is shocking, Jiho said carefully. But humans are not cruel. We don't hunt for sport or kill without reason. We need food to survive, just like you need your nutrition cubes. Nutrition cubes are made from base elements, Thessian said. Carbon, nitrogen, minerals. We do not take these from living beings. We synthesize them in laboratories. But Earth doesn't have that technology yet. We're still developing. For now, we need traditional food sources. The six-eyed alien spoke. Does your species feel pleasure from this consumption? From eating flesh? Jiho hesitated. He thought about the delicious taste of his burger. Yes, eating is enjoyable for humans. Food has culture and meaning for us. It brings families together. Different foods tell stories about different places on Earth. Pleasure from killing, the alien muttered. This is worse than we thought. Thessian turned to face the other council members. We must discuss this privately. Ambassador Jiho, please wait outside the chamber. We will call you back when we have decided. Jiho stood up. He wrapped his burger back in its paper and put it in his bag. Every alien watched him do this like he was handling a dangerous weapon. He walked to the door and it slid open with a soft hiss. As he stepped into the hallway, he heard Thessian's voice behind him. The question before us is simple. Can we allow a predator species into our peaceful community? Or is Earth too dangerous to join the Galactic Council? The door closed. Jiho stood alone in the white corridor. He had traveled across space to build a bridge between humans and aliens. Instead, he had scared them by eating lunch. His burger, innocent and delicious to him, had become evidence of human barbarism. He thought about Earth, about his wife and daughter waiting at home, about the 7 billion people hoping for a better future among the stars. That future now hung in the balance because humans needed to eat. Jiho leaned against the wall and waited. Inside the chamber, aliens who had never known hunger debated whether creatures who did were too violent to be trusted. The burger in his bag was getting cold. 3 days had passed since the burger incident. Jiho called it that in his mind now. The moment everything went wrong. He sat in his small quarters on the station and watched Earth spin on the video screen. Home looked so far away. The council had not made a decision yet. They were still debating. Meanwhile, Earth had sent more people to help explain human nature. Scientists, philosophers, cultural experts. They all hoped to convince the aliens that humans were not monsters. Jiho's door chimed. He opened it to find Dr. Hyon Park standing there with a tablet in her hands. She was Earth's lead biologist and had arrived yesterday. Ready for today's session? She asked. As ready as I'll ever be, Jiho replied. They walked together through the white corridors. Other aliens passed them, keeping their distance. Word had spread quickly about the predator species from Earth. Some aliens stared with curiosity. Others looked afraid. The conference room was full when they arrived. More council members had joined to hear about humanity. Thessian sat in the same spot as before, crystal body dim and gray. Ambassador Jiho, Dr. Park, please sit, Thessian said. The voice was cold, formal. Not friendly like the first day. They sat down. Hyon placed her tablet on the table and opened her presentation files. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I want to explain how humans evolved and why we eat the way we do. Please proceed, Thessian said. Hyon tapped her tablet. A hologram appeared above the table showing Earth millions of years ago. This is Earth during the time when early humans first appeared. Our world is different from yours. It's harsh. Resources are limited. Early humans had to compete with other predators just to survive. The hologram changed. It showed early humans hunting in groups. Our ancestors were not the biggest or strongest animals. We couldn't run the fastest. We didn't have claws or sharp teeth. But we had intelligence. We learned to work together. We learned to make tools. We hunted not for pleasure, but for survival. A plant-like alien raised one leafy limb, but why not consume plants only? They are abundant. Plants alone don't provide enough energy for large brains, Hyon explained. The human brain uses 20% of our body's energy. Meat gave us the dense nutrition we needed to develop intelligence. Eating meat made us smart enough to eventually reach the stars. So you justify killing by saying it made you intelligent? Thessian asked. I'm not justifying anything, Hyon said calmly. I'm explaining our history. Every species here evolved differently. You, Thessian, the Velkari evolved on a world rich in crystal formations. You absorb minerals directly. That's wonderful. But Earth is different. We had to adapt to our environment. Eating meat was adaptation, not evil. Another alien spoke up. This one looked like living smoke in a vague shape. But you still do this practice now. You have technology. You have space travel. Why not synthesize food like civilized species? We're working on it, Yin said. But the technology is expensive and new. Most humans still need traditional food. We can't just switch overnight. It will take time. Time during which you continue to kill, the smoke alien said. Jiho decided to speak. Do your species never harm other life? Ever? Thessian's crystal body flickered. We do not. We left such practices behind eons ago. Really? A new voice came from the doorway. Everyone turned to look. A young woman walked in carrying a large data pad. Her name was Deun Quan, part of Earth's research team. Deun, Jiho said, what are you doing here? I found something interesting. She looked nervous but determined. May I speak? Thessian nodded slowly. If it is relevant. Deun walked to the table and connected her datapad to the hologram system. I've been studying the Galactic Council's database for the past 2 days. I wanted to learn about your species, and I found something curious. A new image appeared. It showed a Velkari world, beautiful and covered in crystal cities. The Velkari maintain massive colonies of small insect-like creatures. According to your own records, these creatures consume waste products. You call them part of your cleaning system? Yes, Thessian said. They help maintain our cities. What is your point? You breed them specifically for this purpose. And when they die, you process their bodies into mineral supplements. The room went quiet. Thessian's body turned orange. Those are insects. Not intelligent life. Not even truly conscious. They are tools like machines. But they're alive, Deun said. You use living creatures for your benefit. You breed them, control their populations, and harvest their remains. How is that different from humans raising cows? Another alien stood up quickly. The jellyfish creature from before. This is absurd. Our bacterial colonies are not comparable to hunting animals. Bacterial colonies. Dean's fingers moved across her pad. Another image appeared. Oh yes, the Thessian people maintain trillions of specialized bacteria in your nutrition synthesis plants. You feed them minerals and harvest their output, living creatures bred and used by you. The six-eyed alien tried to protest. Bacteria are not sentient. They cannot feel. And you know this how? Deun asked. Have you asked them? Cows on Earth aren't sentient either. They don't have complex thoughts or feelings like humans do. If you're drawing a line between what's acceptable to use and what isn't, where exactly is that line? Thessian's whole body was flashing different colors now. Anger or embarrassment, Jiho couldn't tell. This is manipulation of facts. We do not kill for pleasure. We do not eat flesh. We do not hunt. No, you just define life in a way that makes your actions seem noble. Deun said quietly. You call it synthesis when you use bacteria. You call it waste management when you use insects. But humans call it farming when we raise animals. Different words for similar concepts. The room exploded into noise. Aliens argued in dozens of languages. Some defended their practices. Others looked shocked at the comparisons. The plant-like alien was shouting at the smoke alien. The six-eyed creature had turned its back on everyone. Silence. Thessian's voice cut through the chaos. The crystal being stood up tall. This is not the same. Our practices are ethical. We only use simple life forms without consciousness. Humans hunt intelligent animals. Cows are not intelligent, Jan said firmly. They have simple brains. Basic instincts. They're less complex than the insects Velkari use. The difference is we do not take pleasure in their death. Neither do farmers, Jiho said. We don't enjoy killing. We're grateful for the food. Many human cultures have ceremonies to honor the animals that feed us. We recognize the sacrifice, a new alien spoke. This one had been quiet until now. It looked almost human but with silver skin and no hair. I am Counselor Vane of the Rixon people. I have listened carefully. The young human woman makes valid points. Perhaps we have been hypocritical. Counselor Vane, Thessian said. Surely you don't support— I support honesty. Vane interrupted. We claim moral superiority because we defined morality in our favor. We decided long ago that what we consume doesn't count as life. Not really. But by that logic, perhaps what humans consume doesn't count either. This is dangerous thinking, the smoke alien said. No, Vane replied. Dangerous thinking is judging a species by our standards rather than understanding them by theirs. Humans evolved as omnivores. This is their nature. Should we punish them for being what evolution made them? Thessian sat down heavily. The crystal body had gone pale, almost white. This debate has become too complex. The question was simple. Humans eat other living creatures, we do not. Should we allow them into our council? The question was never simple, Jiho said. And I think we've learned today that none of us are as pure as we believed. Every species uses other life forms in some way. The only difference is how we justify it to ourselves. Daeun sat down next to Jiho. She looked exhausted but proud. She had challenged the entire Galactic Council and made them question their own beliefs. Hyun added one more thought. On Earth we have a saying, don't judge others until you've walked in their shoes. Perhaps before you judge humanity for eating meat, you should try to understand what it's like to evolve on a world where that was necessary for survival. The room stayed quiet for a long moment. Aliens looked at each other, uncertainty in their eyes or equivalent features. Their moral high ground had developed cracks. Finally, Thessian spoke. We need more time. This debate has revealed complications we did not anticipate. The Council will reconvene tomorrow. For now, let us all think carefully about what was said here today. The meeting ended. Aliens filed out slowly, many of them talking in small groups. Jiho, Hyun, and Daeun walked back to their quarters together. That was risky, Jiho said to Daeun. Challenging them like that? I know, Daeun replied, but they needed to hear it. They were judging us while ignoring their own contradictions. Do you think it helped? Hyun asked. Jiho watched alien figures moving through the corridors ahead of them. Some looked troubled. Others seemed angry. A few appeared thoughtful. I don't know, Jiho admitted, but at least now they're asking questions instead of just judging. That's progress. They reached their quarters and said goodnight. Alone in his room, Jiho sent a message back to Earth. He tried to sound hopeful, but deep down he worried. The Council was divided now. Some might support Earth, others would oppose them even more strongly. The burger incident had started a debate about the nature of morality itself, and nobody knew how it would end. The alarm woke Jiho at 3 a.m. Station time. Red lights flashed in his quarters. A voice spoke in a language he didn't understand, then switched to English. All council members report to emergency session immediately. Jiho dressed quickly and ran to the conference room. Other aliens were rushing through the corridors too. Everyone looked confused and worried. Something bad had happened. When he arrived, the room was already half full. More aliens poured in every minute. Thessian stood at the head of the table, crystal body pulsing with dark red light. Not a good sign. What's going on? Jiho asked as he took his seat. The Kryn Empire has made aggressive movements, Thessian said. We are under threat. Jiho had read about the Kryn in the briefing files. They were a powerful species that absorbed energy directly from stars. They had their own territory far from council space. Not friendly, but not enemies either. Mostly they kept to themselves. What kind of movements? Counselor Vane asked. Thessian activated the central hologram. It showed a star map with dozens of systems marked in different colors. 3 days ago, Kryn fleets entered neutral space here. A section of the map turned red. They have taken control of 2 mining colonies and are approaching 4 more. They demand these territories submit to Kryn rule. That's impossible, the smoke alien said. The neutral zone agreement has stood for 200 years. The Kryn signed that treaty. Apparently they no longer care about old treaties, Thessian replied. More aliens entered the room. Jiho saw Hyun and Dune slip in and sit nearby. They looked as confused as he felt. Behind them came someone new. A tall man in a military uniform. Jiho recognized him immediately. Admiral Sunwoo Lee, Earth's military representative. He wasn't supposed to arrive for another week. Sunwoo caught Jiho's eye and nodded. Something serious must have happened to bring him here early. The emergency session continued. Thessian showed more data. The Kryn had 15 warships in neutral space. More were coming. The colonies they threatened held millions of civilians. What did the colonists say? Someone asked. They are terrified, Thessian said. They're asking for council protection. But we have a problem. The council has no military force. This shocked Jiho. No military at all? We are a peaceful alliance, Thessian explained. We have never needed weapons. Our security drones are designed to move asteroids and handle accidents. They cannot fight a military fleet. Then what can you do? Jiho asked. We negotiate, Counselor Vane said. We open diplomatic channels. We offer the Kryn what they want in exchange for peace. And what do they want? Hyun asked. Thessian's body dimmed. Everything. The Kryn Empire is expanding. They need more systems, more resources. They've looked at our peaceful territories and seen weakness. They believe they can take what they want because we won't fight back. Because you can't fight back, Sunwoo said from the doorway. Everyone turned to look at him. He walked forward and stood next to Jiho. I'm Admiral Sunwoo Lee of Earth's United Defense Force. I arrived early because we detected the Kryn movements too. My government wanted me here in case the situation affected Earth's petition to join the Council. It may affect more than that, Thessian said quietly. If the Kryn succeed here, they may attack Council worlds next. And we have no way to stop them. The room filled with worried voices. Aliens spoke over each other, suggesting different diplomatic approaches. Offer them trading rights. Give them mining access to Council systems. Maybe send a delegation to talk to their leaders. Sunwoo listened for a few minutes, then held up his hand. Excuse me. May I speak? Thessian nodded. I've heard your suggestions, Sunwoo said. They're all reasonable, diplomatic, peaceful, and they will all fail. Excuse me? The plant-like alien said. You cannot know that. Actually, I can, Sunwoo replied. I've studied the Kryn military structure. They respect only strength. If you negotiate from weakness, they'll take everything you offer and then demand more. Appeasement doesn't work with predatory empires. Predatory, Thessian said. Like humans? The words hung in the air. Jiho felt the accusation in them. Sunwoo just smiled slightly. Yes, the Admiral said. Like humans. We understand the Kryn because we've been like them. In our history, we had empires that conquered and expanded. We learned how they think. And I'm telling you, the only thing that will stop the Kryn is the belief that attacking you will cost them more than they gain. You're suggesting violence, the smoke alien said with disgust. I'm suggesting defense, Sunwoo corrected. There's a difference. Violence is attacking without cause. Defense is protecting those who cannot protect themselves. Counselor Vane leaned forward. Even if we agreed with your philosophy, we have no military. No weapons. No trained soldiers. We cannot fight. But Earth can, Sunwoo said. The room went completely silent. Every alien stared at the human admiral. You want us to let your species fight for us? Thessian's voice was cold. The same species we are debating whether to allow into our council because you are too violent? I understand the irony, Sunwoo said. You're judging humans for being predators, for being violent by nature, and now you face a threat that your peaceful nature cannot handle. You need someone who understands violence, someone who can fight. This is madness, the six-eyed alien said. Is it? Daeon spoke up. 3 days ago you called humans barbaric for eating meat, for being apex predators. But maybe those traits have value. Maybe evolution gave us these abilities for a reason. Hyun added her voice. In Earth's ecosystems, predators serve a purpose. They control populations. They remove the weak and sick. They maintain balance. Without predators, systems collapse. Perhaps the galaxy needs its predators too. We are not your ecosystem, Thessian said sharply. No, but you're facing the same principle, Jiho said. The Kryn are predators. They're hunting your colonies. You have two choices. Fight back or become prey. Thessian's crystal body turned almost black. And if we choose to fight? What then? We become like you? Like them? We abandon everything we believe in? You believe in protecting your people, don't you? Sunwoo asked gently. Those colonists calling for help, don't they deserve protection? What good is your peaceful philosophy if you let millions die to preserve it? The words hit hard. Aliens looked at each other uncomfortably. They had no good answer. A new voice joined the discussion. It came from a small alien that looked like a floating sphere of light. I am Elder Quarren of the Luminari. I am 3,000 years old. I have seen the rise and fall of empires. I must say something difficult. Everyone waited. Elder Quarren was respected. When he spoke, people listened. The human is correct, Quarren said. We have lived in peace for so long that we forgot how to protect that peace. We believed our moral superiority would shield us. But morality means nothing to those who don't share it. The Kryn do not care about our beliefs. They care about power. You cannot be suggesting we accept human help, the smoke alien said. I'm suggesting we face reality, Quarren replied. The council stands at a crossroads. Path 1. We maintain our principles and watch our colonies fall. Path 2. We accept that sometimes peace must be defended with strength we do not possess. Even if that strength comes from predators? Thessian asked. Especially then, Quarren said. A shepherd uses a dog to protect his sheep from wolves. The dog has teeth and knows how to fight. That makes it valuable, not dangerous. Perhaps humans can be our shepherds. Thessian turned to Sunwoo. And what would Earth want in return for this protection? Full membership in the Galactic Council, Jiho said immediately. Equal standing with all species. And an end to this debate about whether humans are too violent to join. Our nature is what it is. The question is whether you can accept us as we are. You're using this crisis as leverage, the plant alien accused. No, Sunwoo said. We're offering a solution to your crisis. But yes, we want recognition that our abilities have value. You can't call us monsters on one day and then ask us to be your protectors the next. If we do this, it's as equals. Thessian stood silent for a long moment. The crystal body shifted through different colors. Finally, it settled on a deep blue. The council must vote, Thessian said. But time is short. The Kryn fleet will reach the first colony in 30 hours. If we're going to act, we must decide now. I vote to accept Earth's help, Councillor Vane said immediately. As do I, Elder Quarren added. Others began voting. Some supported it. Others opposed. The arguments continued, but Jiho could see the tide turning. Fear was a powerful motivator. The aliens were scared, and scared people made pragmatic choices. After an hour, the vote concluded. 23 in favor, 11 against, 4 abstaining. Earth's help was accepted. Thessian looked at Sunwoo. How quickly can your forces arrive? I brought 3 ships with me, Sunwoo said. They're waiting just outside council space. I can have them here in 6 hours. 3 ships against 15 Kryn warships? Sunwoo smiled. It was not a kind smile. It was the smile of a predator who had spotted prey. We don't need to outnumber them, the Admiral said. We just need to outthink them. That's what predators do best. We hunt smarter, not harder. Thessian nodded slowly. Then humanity will have its chance to prove itself. Win this battle and Earth will have earned its place among the stars. Fail and millions will die. We won't fail, Sunwoo said confidently. The meeting ended. Aliens dispersed to prepare their colonies and evacuate civilians. Sunwoo. The command center buzzed with activity. Screens showed star maps, ship positions, and communication channels. Admiral Sunwoo stood at the center of it all, calm and focused. Jiho watched from the observation area with Thessian and other council members. They had never seen a military operation before. 3 Earth ships hung in space near the threatened colony. They looked small compared to the alien vessels around them. The council's civilian ships were huge and elegant, designed for comfort and efficiency. Earth's ships were different. Smaller, angular, covered in armor plating. They looked dangerous. The Kryn fleet will arrive in 15 minutes, a technician announced. Sunwoo nodded. All ships, final system checks. Bora, how's your squadron? On the screen, a young woman's face appeared. Lieutenant Bora Nam, fighter pilot. She sat in the cockpit of a small combat ship. Ready, Admiral. My birds are hungry. Good. Remember the plan. Hit and run. Don't engage directly unless necessary. Understood, sir. Thessian moved closer to Jiho. Your ships are so small. How can they possibly fight the Kryn? Their warships are massive. Size isn't everything, Jiho replied. Earth learned that lesson throughout our history. Small, fast forces can defeat large, slow ones if they use the right tactics. Another screen lit up. A man's face appeared, younger than Sunwoo, but with the same serious expression. Commander Wu Jinhan reporting. Defense grid is synchronized with Velkari shield generators. Excellent, Sunwoo said. The colony's shields will stop the first volley. After that, it's up to us. Jiho saw Thessian's crystal body flicker nervously. The Velkari had provided their best shield technology to protect the colony, but shields could only hold so long against sustained attack. Kryn fleet entering sensor range, the technician said. 15 ships confirmed. Dreadnought class, the main screen showed the enemy. Kryn ships looked like sharp crystals made of dark metal. They moved in a tight formation, confident and unstoppable. Each ship was 3 times the size of Earth's largest vessel. They're not even trying to hide, Hyun said. She had joined the observation area to watch. They think this will be easy. Let them think that, Sunwoo said. Overconfidence is a weakness we can exploit. The Kryn fleet approached the colony. A communication channel opened. A face appeared on screen. The Kryn looked almost humanoid, but with skin that glowed with internal fire. Its eyes were completely black. Attention, Colony Thesara. This is Fleet Commander Crane of the Kryn Empire. You have 1 hour to evacuate. After that, this system belongs to us. Resistance will be met with destruction. Sunwoo stepped forward. Commander Crane, this is Admiral Sunwoo Lee representing the Galactic Council. Your presence here violates the Neutral Zone Treaty. Withdraw immediately, Crane laughed. The sound was harsh and cruel. The Council? The Council has no teeth. No weapons, no warriors. You are sheep pretending to be wolves. And who are you, human? A mercenary hired to speak for cowards? I'm someone who's fought real battles, Sunwoo said calmly. Not someone who bullies the defenseless. Leave now, or learn the difference between confidence and arrogance. Bold words from someone with 3 tiny ships. Crane's expression turned cold. You have no chance. Stand aside or be destroyed with the colony. I gave you a chance to leave, Sunwoo said. Remember that, he cut the communication. The command center went quiet. All ships begin Operation Persistence Hunt. Sunwoo ordered. Persistence Hunt? Thessian asked Jiho. An old human hunting technique, Jiho explained. Our ancestors couldn't outrun prey. So they chased animals for hours, days even, until the prey exhausted itself. We used patience and strategy instead of raw power. The Kryn fleet split into 3 groups. They were moving to surround the colony, cutting off any escape. Standard military tactics, predictable. Bora, take your squadron into the asteroid field. Wait for my signal. Copy that. Bora's fighters disappeared from the main screen, vanishing behind the floating rocks near the colony. Wu Jin, power down to minimal signatures. Make us look like we're running scared. The Earthship's lights dimmed. They began drifting away from the colony as if retreating. On the screen, Jiho saw Crane's face appear again, this time laughing at the apparent cowardice. The Kryn fleet advanced. They were confident now. 3 groups of 5 ships each surrounding the colony. They began charging their weapons. Huge energy signatures built up along their hulls. Shields at maximum, Wu Jin reported. Colony is as protected as we can make it. The Kryn fired. Beams of pure energy lanced out, hitting the colony's shields. The barriers flared bright blue, absorbing the impact. But cracks appeared. One more volley like that and the shields would fail. Sir? Wu Jin sounded worried. Wait, Sunwoo said quietly. The Kryn ships moved closer, repositioning for another strike. They were bunched together now, focused on the colony. Their formation had gaps, weaknesses. Now, Sunwoo said, everything happened at once. Bora's fighters exploded out of the asteroid field, moving at incredible speed. They weren't heading for the Kryn ships. They were targeting something else. What are they attacking? Thessian asked. Their supply lines, Jiho said, understanding the strategy. Every fleet needs support ships. Fuel, ammunition, supplies. The fighters reached the back of the Kryn formation where smaller support vessels waited. Bora's weapons lit up the darkness. Explosions bloomed across 3 supply ships. They weren't destroyed, but they were badly damaged. Crane's voice erupted over the communication channel. You attack supply ships? Cowards, face us directly. Why? Sunwoo replied. You came here to bully a defenseless colony. I'm not interested in honorable combat. I'm interested in winning. The Kryn fleet broke formation, trying to chase Bora's fighters. But the small Earth ships were too fast, too maneuverable. They danced between asteroids, leading the Kryn away from the colony. Phase 2, Sun Wu ordered. Wu Jin, target their communications array. Earth's main ships, which had been drifting away, suddenly came to life. They accelerated toward the Kryn command ship. Not the hull, not the weapons. The communication towers on top. Precise laser fire took out antenna after antenna. Suddenly, the Kryn fleet couldn't coordinate. Ships that had moved as one unit now operated independently. Sir, multiple Kryn ships breaking off to engage us, Wu Jin reported. Let them come. Lead them through Sector 7. Jiho watched the tactical display. Sector 7 was dense with asteroids. Wu Jin's ship led 5 Kryn vessels into the field, weaving between the floating rocks with practiced ease. The Kryn ships, larger and less agile, had to slow down. Bora, they're distracted. Hit the engines on Group 2. With pleasure. Bora's squadron appeared from a different angle, attacking the Kryn ships that had stayed near the colony. They focused fire on engine clusters, not trying to destroy the ships, just cripple them. One Kryn vessel lost power to its main drive. It began drifting, unable to maneuver. Another took damage to its steering systems. It spun slowly, weapons pointing in the wrong direction. This is not warfare. Crane screamed over the channel. This is treachery. Dishonor. This is tactics, Sun Wu replied. Something you wouldn't understand because you're used to fighting people who can't fight back. The battle continued for 2 hours. Earth's ships never engaged directly. They hit and ran, attacked weak points, used the environment to their advantage. The Kryn grew more frustrated with each passing minute. Jiho watched in amazement. The 3 human ships were fighting 15 Kryn vessels and winning. Not through superior firepower, but through superior strategy. How are they doing this? Thessian asked quietly. Humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years, Hyon explained. We've learned every trick, every tactic, every way to win against stronger opponents. War is terrible, but it taught us valuable skills. More Kryn ships took damage. One had its weapon systems disabled. Another lost its shield generators. A third collided with an asteroid while chasing Bora, tearing a hole in its hull. Sir, they're trying to regroup, Wu Jin reported. Sun Wu studied the tactical display. The Kryn fleet, reduced and damaged, was pulling back. They were trying to form a defensive position. Don't let them, Sun Wu ordered. Keep them scattered. Bora, focus on Group 3. Wu Jin, you take Group 1. I'll handle the command ship. The Admiral's ship, the largest of Earth's 3 vessels, accelerated toward Crane's dreadnought. The 2 ships were alone in space, separated from the rest of the battle. Finally, Crane's voice was full of rage. Face me directly, coward! If you insist, Sun Wu said. The 2 ships opened fire simultaneously. Energy beams crossed in the darkness. Crane's ship had more powerful weapons, but Sun Wu's ship was faster. It dodged the worst of the fire, taking hits on its armor but avoiding critical damage. Sir, we can't take many more hits like that, someone said. We won't have to, Sun Wu replied. Charging main weapon. Target their bridge, but sir, that will... I know what it will do. Fire Earth's ship unleashed its most powerful weapon, a concentrated beam of energy. Everything the ship could generate focused into one point. It struck Crane's vessel directly on the command deck. The explosion was massive. Not enough to destroy the dreadnought, but enough to gut its control center. The ship went dark, power failing. In the command center on the council station, everyone watched in silence. The council chamber looked different today. Someone had decorated it with plants from various worlds. Colorful banners hung on the walls representing each member species. At the center of the room, a new seat had been placed. Empty, waiting. Jiho stood outside the chamber doors with Admiral Sun Wu, Dr. Hyen Park, Daeun Kwan, and others from Earth's delegation. They were all dressed in formal attire. Today was important. Today would determine humanity's future among the stars. Nervous? Sun Wu asked quietly. Terrified, Jiho admitted. Everything depends on this vote. We already won, Daeun said confidently. We saved the colony. They saw what we could do. Maybe, Hyen said. But some council members still have doubts. We're predators. We eat meat. We fight wars. Those facts haven't changed. The doors opened. An alien that looked like flowing water in a vague shape beckoned them inside. The council will see you now. They entered together. The chamber was full. Every species had sent representatives. Some faces were familiar. Thessian sat in the front, crystal body glowing soft blue. Counselor Vane stood nearby, silver skin reflecting the lights. Elder Quarren floated above his seat, the small sphere pulsing gently. But there were also new faces. Species from distant systems who had come to witness this historic moment. Some looked curious, others looked skeptical. Jiho and his delegation took their places in the center of the room. All eyes and eye equivalents focused on them. Thessian rose to speak. We gather today to vote on Earth's petition for membership in the Galactic Council. This has been a complicated journey. We have learned much about humans. They are different from us. They evolved as predators, as omnivores, as warriors. At first, these differences frightened us. We judged them by our standards and found them wanting. The crystal being paused, body shifting to gold. But then the Kryn threatened our colonies. And we learned what humanity truly means. Yes, humans are predators. But they are also protectors. They understand violence, but they choose when to use it. They saved lives without taking any. They want to battle through intelligence and strategy, not through massacre. Counselor Vane stood next. I have studied Earth's history thoroughly over the past week. What I found both disturbed and impressed me. Humans have fought countless wars among themselves. They have known terrible violence. But they have also known peace. They created art, music, philosophy. They built civilizations. They reached for the stars despite their flaws. This balance between darkness and light is what makes them unique. Elder Quarren's voice rang through the chamber. I am old, very old. I have seen species rise and fall. I have watched empires burn and new ones emerge from the ashes. I tell you this with certainty, the galaxy needs diversity. We have become too similar, too comfortable in our peaceful ways. We forgot that peace must sometimes be defended. Earth reminds us of this truth. A new alien spoke up. It looked like a large insect with silver wings. But what of their dietary practices? They still consume other life forms. How can we accept this? Thessian answered. We debated this extensively. Yes, humans eat meat. But as Human Daeon showed us, we are hypocrites if we judge them for this. We all use other life forms in various ways. We simply defined our practices as acceptable and theirs as barbaric. That was wrong. Another alien, one covered in bioluminescent spots, spoke. What if humans become aggressive? What if they turn their predatory nature against us? Admiral Sunwoo stepped forward. May I respond to that? Thessian nodded. Sunwoo looked around the chamber, meeting the gaze of dozens of different species. You're right to be cautious. Humans can be dangerous. We have that capacity within us. But we also have laws, ethics, and the desire to be better than our base instincts. We've spent centuries learning to control our violent impulses. We fight when necessary, but we prefer peace. If you accept us into this council, we will protect all member species as fiercely as we would protect Earth. That is our promise. Hyon added, Earth doesn't want to be the galaxy's warriors. We want to be partners. We have so much to learn from you. Your technology, your knowledge, your peaceful philosophies. In return, we offer our own unique perspective. Sometimes the galaxy needs someone who understands conflict to prevent it. Daeun spoke next. During my research, I learned that the council was founded on a principle of unity through diversity. You celebrated differences between species, as long as those differences fit your comfort zone. But real diversity means accepting those who are genuinely different. Humans are that test. Can you truly embrace diversity when it makes you uncomfortable? The chamber filled with murmuring voices. Aliens discussed among themselves. Jiho watched nervously. This could go either way. An alien that resembled a floating jellyfish spoke. The human girl makes a valid point. We have been selective in our acceptance. We welcomed species that were easy to understand. But the galaxy contains all types of life. If we only accept those who think like us, we create an echo chamber, not a community. Well said. Another alien agreed. Perhaps humans are exactly what we need. A reminder that strength and wisdom can coexist. But not everyone was convinced. The large insect alien spoke again. I still have concerns. Yes, they saved one colony, but what about long term? What happens when human and alien interests conflict? Jiho decided to speak. Conflict will happen. We won't agree on everything. But that's true for any relationship, whether between individuals or civilizations. The question isn't whether we'll have disagreements. The question is whether we can work through them together. Earth wants that chance. We want to prove that predators and peaceful species can coexist. We want to build a future where our differences make us stronger, not enemies. Thessian raised one crystal limb. Enough debate. The time has come to vote. All in favor of granting Earth full membership in the Galactic Council? Lights appeared above each alien representative. Green for yes, red for no, yellow for abstain. Jiho held his breath and watched the lights appear one by one. Green, 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 yellow, green, red, green, green. The lights continued appearing. More green than red. Some yellows scattered throughout. Jiho tried to count them, but there were too many appearing too fast. Finally, the last light appeared. Green. Thessian announced the results. 42 in favor, 8 against, 5 abstaining. The motion passes. Earth is granted full membership in the Galactic Council. The chamber erupted in sound. Some aliens cheered in their various ways. Others clapped or made joyful noises. A few of the dissenters looked unhappy, but they didn't protest. Jiho felt tears in his eyes. They had done it. After everything, all the doubts and debates and danger, Earth had earned its place among the stars. Sunwoo put a hand on his shoulder. "We did it, Ambassador." "No," Jiho said, wiping his eyes. "We all did it. Every human who came here, everyone who believed we could bridge this gap." Thessian approached them. The crystal being's body glowed brilliant gold now. "Welcome, Ambassador Jiho Kim, to the Galactic Council. Your seat awaits." Jiho walked to the empty chair and sat down. It felt surreal. A week ago, he had been judged as a monster for eating a burger. Now he represented humanity in a council of alien civilizations. Counselor Vane stepped forward. "We should discuss the integration process. Earth has much to learn about council procedures, but you also have much to teach us. Dr. Park, I would like to discuss your proposals for sharing agricultural knowledge." Jan smiled. "I have detailed files ready. Our farming techniques could help many worlds." "And Admiral Sunwoo," Elder Quarren said, "the Council would benefit from establishing a proper defense force. Would Earth be willing to help train other species in strategic thinking?" Sunwoo nodded. "Absolutely. We can share our military knowledge while learning your advanced technologies." A mutual exchange, the discussions continued. Aliens and humans mingled, talking about future collaborations. The atmosphere had completely changed from that first meeting. No more fear or judgment. Now there was curiosity and hope. Hours passed. Eventually, the formal sessions ended and smaller groups gathered to talk informally. Jiho found himself standing with Thessian near a window overlooking space. "I misjudged your species," Thessian said quietly. "I apologize for that." "You were following your instincts," Jiho replied. "We all judge based on what we know. The important thing is that you were willing to change your mind." "The burger incident," Thessian said, and Jiho heard something like laughter in the chiming voice. "That's what started all of this. One simple meal that revealed everything about who humans are. And who are we?" Jiho asked. "Complex," Thessian said. "Contradictory. Capable of both great violence and great compassion. You are predators who choose to protect, warriors who prefer peace, omnivores who value all life even as you consume it. You contain multitudes, as one of your poets said." "Walt Whitman," Jiho said, pleased that Thessian had researched Earth's literature. "Yes, I have been reading your works. Trying to understand humans better, I found that quote particularly fitting." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, watching stars drift by outside the window. "What happens now?" Jiho asked. "Now we build something new," Thessian replied. "A council that includes both peaceful species and protective ones. A galaxy where different evolutionary paths are valued, not feared. It won't be easy. There will be challenges." "There always are," Jiho agreed.